Hey, welcome back to Legacy 4x4, and today we're going to be doing the second drawer video for the back of my 1990 Ford Bronco. This one's going to be focused mostly on doing the kitchen. It's going to be a little bit more involved than the one from last week, so we don't have a lot of time. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this video we're going to be doing the kitchen drawer slide out for my 1990 Ford Bronco. I'm in the process of converting this Bronco into being an Overlander, and a part of that is I want to have drawers and a bed and some like lifestyle stuff in the back of the Bronco. It happens to have enough room. It's going to be a little tight, but it's going to be plenty comfortable enough for myself to be in the back of the Bronco. So on the last video we built the storage drawer, which is a super simple storage drawer system for the driver's side of the Bronco. This time we're going to be doing the passenger side, and this is going to be a much more complex video. We're going to be building out a kitchen drawer system for this Bronco. So basically, very similar to the last one. If you watched that last video, I'm going to build a very basic box, and then I'm going to customize that box into a kitchen. Now this one's going to have the added benefit, or the added challenge, I guess, of including some secondary drawer sliders. So the storage box is just one big box. It pulls out, super simple. This one is going to have a drawer system on it that has a secondary system that you can pull out a second time, and inside that drawer is going to be all of the knives, all of the silverware and things like that that you don't need to access a whole bunch, but that you want to have easy access to when you're out on the trail. Put down the tailgate, you can just pull out just that and get your silverware, or if you're prepping and doing some work, you can pull out the whole kitchen, pull out that and get your silverware and still have your prep surface on top of that. So anyways, with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. You guys saw the drawer video before, so I'm not going to record this part. I'm going to just really quickly put together a drawer the same way I put together the basic drawer on that side, and then we're going to talk about how to make this a custom capable off-road camp kitchen. Alright, so we have the basic structure of the box built. Now, like I said, this was to this point exactly the same as the last video I did. I double layered the 1/4 inch maple on the bottom to give it a 1/2 inch total thickness, which should provide a little bit of strength, and I ran these 1 inch walls along the side of it. This is exactly the same way I built the other box. Now we have to add in our slides. I want to do this now. These are from the secondary slide system, so I want to do this now and then build the rest of this box around it. Like all things that I build, I really don't have an idea or a plan for what I'm doing. I'm just kind of figuring this out as I go, so we're going to just play with this now as it is. Now I added a piece of this furring strip. This is a 1x3, I think, piece of just whitewood. I added this into the middle, back at where these stops should be. So it's pretty close to exactly halfway, because this is a 30-inch slide and this is a 60-inch drawer, roughly. I've got one of the drawer slides already mounted. I'm just using screws because wood's easy to work with than steel, so I'm just using the screws through the wood here, and you can see the drawer slide comes all the way out. So now as you look at it, this is going to be inside the truck, and when you want to use the full drawer, the full kitchen, you activate the drawer slides on the outside of it that are in the truck to pull the whole thing out, and when you just want to grab the silverware, you just pull these out. They lock into place so they're not going to bounce around, which is perfect for this application. Anyways, I'm going to mount this other drawer slide up real quick, and then we're going to kind of start building out the rest of this. Unlike me, I did not do any planning for this. I've got no CAD model. I'm literally just sitting here just kind of figuring out what fits with all the pieces of scrap wood that I have laying around. I'm just trying to get this thing done. I'm on leave this week, and I want to get as many projects done as I can throughout this week. So anyways, let's get this other drawer slide mounted up, and then we'll figure out how the rest of this is going to look. Alright, so you can see those screws did go through. I thought I had some shorter screws and I do not. So I'm going to just cut off those ends, make this nice and flush, sand it off and smooth it and paint it anyway. So I think this will work just fine though. We got both our drawer slides mounted, ready to move on to the next step.
Storybox Audio. Storybox Audio.
Alright, so kind of skipped a little bit as I kept working on this, but this is where we're at right now. This is the cutting board. This comes out, obviously. I haven't finished doing this upper deck yet because I still need to do some more measuring. I've just got some pieces of furring strip in here that I was using as a marker. But you can see that we've got a bottom deck which covers the top of our drawer slide here. This drawer slide is going to be where the silverware goes. So you can see you've got a full length drawer here. I already stained this particular drawer and I stained the inside of it as well because as I put this together I don't want to take it back apart again. But this is going to be our pull-out silverware / storage drawer. As you can see, it's plenty strong enough sitting down here with all those pieces of equipment, and it locks into place nicely, which makes it not pull out. Now, up here is where we're going to do the cutting board surfaces. I was originally going to do just one big cutting board, but I'm actually starting to look at it. It looks like it might be able to fit two. It's off by like 1/4 of an inch, so I might trim these down and do two cutting boards side by side, one for meat and one for like vegetables and stuff like that. And then on the back side here, this is going to be the grill section. So I'm going to do some kind of a raised stand, do a cutout, and do a metal sheet over the top of this for the grill so that the grill has a nice stable place to be and it's a little bit fireproof, you know, not sitting on a wood drawer here. So I'm going to do a little bit of metal work in this back here. Now I think this is where I'm going to stop for today. It's getting kind of late, I'm hungry, I want to go inside and go eat. So we're going to call this a pause on this and we will come back out here tomorrow and we will keep working on this drawer system. Alright guys, so we got this side of the box done. We've got the section for the two cutting boards and we've got the sub drawer done. Let me show you guys what this looks like real quick. So there was a little bit of wasted space here as I did the vertical. I could have made this secondary drawer taller. In hindsight, I should have probably done that, but I used the wood that I had on hand. I made it the size that would fit like silverware and stuff like that. So you pull it out and you can see that you have all of your silverware space down here. Now, I don't have the silverware on hand at the moment, but when I order it, and what you'll see in a different video, because I'm not going to order it for this video, because I don't want to spend much money right now. I don't have a camping trip planned for the Bronco and I'd rather spend my money building out the back of this thing. So once I get that all in though, I will 3D print a sectional type mount for it, you know, like 3D print some things in pieces that can kind of click together. That'll store all of the different silverware. That'll give it a nice solid, it'll give it a solid mounting position so that when you're off-road and stuff like that, this isn't going to bounce around, it's not going to bounce open, and silverware is not going to be all over the place. I don't carry that much silverware with me, so between like cooking supplies and silverware and some other small stuff, it'll all fit down here in this drawer, which I am a big fan of. I think this looks really nice, tucked up down here. Now, on the top, this is where there was some wasted space. There's about 2 inches of wasted space I could have gained by making this drawer taller, but I didn't. But this is where the cutting board is going to be. So I have one of them on hand. I need to order another one, but I got one of them on hand. Now I did have to trim off about 1/4 of an inch off the bottom of these. It just barely didn't fit before, but these sit right here, as you can see. They sit just flush below the line of the drawers. They are removable on purpose so that when you get home after a camping trip, you can take these out and go wash them. If you want to go spray them off in a campground or something, you can remove these without having to spray the rest of the truck. So these are removable. You can see that they both fit like that. So you'll have one for meat, one for vegetables on either side up here. Easily removable with this hole that is drilled in the top of them. So I'm going to leave that one sitting right there for now. I might laser some other stuff on this in the future, just give this some kind of custom touches, but that'll come later on. Now we got to move on to doing the back of this. Again, there's going to be some wasted space, and that's okay. I obviously didn't do any kind of a sink system because I'm not running water on the Bronco. I'm just going to run a 5-gallon bucket of water, so you'll have a spigot you can pull water out of. I might one day add a water system to it, but any water system I add is going to be external to the truck. Might be like a hot water heater up on the roof rack, and then like a kind of tubular system on the outside, so that if you wanted to have a sink or something, you can fold out a sink and use it out there. Now, on the inside of this, here, you can see I've got my grill in place. It fits pretty closely, but I need to do something to raise it. So I gotta sit here and think about how I'm gonna raise this thing. I want this to be, when it's stored, it can sit down here where it's at right now. It can just sit inside of this little pocket here. But when you're using it, I want to use it on top of this, but I want to use it safely on top of this. This is obviously all wood. This is a propane grill. There's a chance of it catching fire. So I need to do some kind of a steel facade around the top up here to protect the wood underneath it, or at least help protect the wood underneath it. And then I need to come up with a way that you can raise this up. I think I'm just going to do some kind of like a block thing, so like blocks that sit down in there with it. And then when you want to use it, you pull out the drawer, you flip the blocks up, and then you set the stove on top of it, and that's how you use it. So I got to play with that design a little bit, but let's go ahead. I'll flip this drawer around and we'll start playing with that design. Alright, so I actually went a different way with this. I was originally going to do like the mount, like I just talked about a second ago. I decided against that because of a couple different reasons. Namely, I don't want to have a propane grill going in here. Big firebox, propane grill, live fire, bad idea I think. But I was like, hey, the tailgate's got to be down on the Bronco to get access to any of these drawers anyways and to use them. So why not just put the grill on the tailgate in front of the storage drawer? You're probably not going to be getting into the storage drawer while you're actively cooking. So I was like, that'll work better, it's easier. So this is really just going to be a storage place for the grill. It fits in here really tight, so it's not going to move around too much. And I think I'm going to go get like a small toolbox or something to put down here in the bottom of it to store extra tools and random other stuff that you need just on this side to take up some of this vertical space that we have. So anyways, that's the plan for that. It also fits better with the cord because the cord was really tight trying to get in here. But that's the plan for that. So this is actually really simple now all of a sudden. So we're going to go ahead and mount this into the truck and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, here you guys can see I've got both the drawers out right now. So this would be maximum extension of both of these. This one you obviously won't be using very much while you're using the kitchen. But the idea is you can stand here, right? You stand right here. You've got your cutting boards, you've got your grill, and then if you needed any silverware, it's right there. So you can pull out your silverware, grab whatever knife or whatever else you need, put it back in. The idea being that you can then do your cutting and your food prep here. When you want to use the grill, take the grill out, place it down on the tailgate next to you, and now you have a wind resistant area to have cooking. So I've got my propane hoses and connections. These would run to the side of the truck there where the propane will be. They store into this little box space here as well. You can do all your cooking, all your work prep. This is sturdy enough that you can cut on it. It's got a little bit of flimsiness to it right now. I still feel confident I could sit up here and do work prep and do your chopping of vegetables or whatever that you need to do right here. However, I do think once I get some more structure back here, get some horizontal crossbars and some things like that in the back, it's going to tighten it up a lot. If it doesn't, I will then design some kind of like a drop down leg system for this to hold everything into place. When you're not using it, simply take the grill back. Grill fits back into its box and the whole drawer can slide away. And lock into place. Like so. Now it's not going to go anywhere. So now we've got our two drawer systems in the back of the Bronco. The next thing is going to be coming through and doing our big crossbars and our mattress in the back of this truck. But that'll be on the next video when I make a metal subframe to go on top of our uprights and to strengthen all of this up and give it the support that it needs. Now, in addition to all that, I did make that one cutting board. I decided to laser on a little design on it. It's just a stake and it says this is meat. I'm going to go through and do a food safe sealant on the top of this, but I made myself a nice little cutting board to put back here. I will do a similar one. I'll do a similar one for vegetables when I get to those, when I get that cutting board in. Overall, I'm really happy with how this worked out. Like I said, you got removable cutting boards, so if you want to take this out and wash it, you can. You can flip it around if you need to, whatever you need to do. Anyways, let me take you guys inside. I'm going to clean up, and then we'll talk about what comes next. Alright, so I've got a lot of wood scraps I got to get rid of, so I think I'm going to have a little bonfire for myself tonight. But I'm really happy with how these two drawers came out total. The kitchen drawer is a little bit more complicated, having that secondary drawer in it and having to do some custom kind of stair step stuff in there, but I'm really happy with how it all looks and how it's going to function in the back of this truck. On the next video, we're going to come back in here and we're going to build the mattress frame. So I'm going to do a 1x1 steel tube frame. It's going to sit on top of those vertical supports we built, and I'm going to have a way to bolt it into those supports so that you have that kind of cross structure supporting the vertical uprights for the drawers, as well as a stable platform for a mattress to sit on. That's going to be on the next video, and then after that we'll come through to decorating, 3D printing some stuff, and kind of some finishing touches on this Bronco. But it's really coming along nicely. It is coming along really nicely though. I love the way this Bronco is shaping out, and I'm really excited to start taking it out places. Make sure to drop any comments down below if there's something that you want me to add to this Bronco. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one.